Hey YouTube, how you doing tonight? Scarpad from Scarpad's Domain with you. And tonight we have a film from a young director called Martin Scorsese. Now, when this movie was coming out in 1985, he had already done a couple movies on his belt. Biggest one was Mean Streets, and then he did another one called King of Comedy. And King of Comedy, while it became a cult classic years later, really was tepid in his response. So he didn't have a hit on his hands. He was going to want to do The Last Temptation of Christ. Couldn't get funding for that movie. So instead, he did this one. After Hours, it has become a well-known cult comedy in itself. Came out in 1985. I remember seeing it back then. And, basically, it's a movie that covers what happens if you're like a young professional man, like such I was, worked in an office, bored out of your skull. You want the adventure, you want something to happen, and what happens turns into a bloody nightmare. Now, this film was supposed to be directed by Tim Burton. Tim Burton passed on it, and Martin Scorsese picked it up. And to kind of discuss this all with us tonight, my co-host, Dylan. How you doing, Dylan, from Dylan's Horror Show?
What's up, brother?
Watching with Martin Scorsese tonight.
Yep.
And something that's a little different from Martin. Wasn't really known for comedies, black or otherwise. And this movie came out in 85. Now, I remember seeing this on video, of course, and I loved it right from then, the get-go. What a cast they had. They had Griffin Dunn and Cheech and Chong, Linda Fiorentino, Terry Garr, John Hurd, Catherine O'Hara. I mean, this movie had all the people that you knew, and it was really a good, weird vibe to this movie. You know, I worked in an office for 23 years, so I could understand how bored you are. And this guy is bored out of his mind and decides to go out and get coffee. He runs into what he hopes is the girl of his dreams, and she turns out to be kind of like a living nightmare. First thing that happens to him is his money blows out the window. He has no money to get around. Of course, this was back in the day before phones. I had no money for phone booths, stuck in an area that he didn't know with a bunch of weird people, and coincidence brings him. So basically that everybody he meets is kind of associated with everybody he's already met, and they lead him throughout this whole urban nightmare. There's so many good, interesting scenes in this movie, and I think Martin Scorsese said, he just considered this to be like a yuppie nightmare. But if you look at this movie, and people, if this movie came out now, they would all be crying, "It's woke!" Because if you look at this movie, this man gets like emasculated by like every woman in this movie. The first girl he meets is Kiki Bridges, who is supposed to be what's her face, Rosanna Arquette's roommate. She's not, but he meets her. She bosses him around. She's kind of mannish, and she really gets over on him. Then Rosanna Arquette refuses to kind of like sleep with him. The next one he meets is Terry Garr. She takes him home, but she's nuts. And then he meets Catherine O'Hara, who basically sets vigilante groups after this guy because the boyfriend of Rosanna Arquette, who has killed herself, asked him to go up to his apartment, and now he's tagged as a burglar. So, and it's an interesting.
Cheech and Chong are basically the
burglars.
Yeah,
and it's a very interesting cinematography in this movie. All these shots with the keys falling on him, and then that's happened a few times in the movie. You get the great wide shots of the darkened streets when he's being chased by the vigilante groups. It's just
like the nighttime scenes of Taxi Driver.
Yeah, kind of like Taxi Driver, but it was a little skewed on its edge. And of course, this guy's from a whole nother world. Everybody meets is out there. Will Patton is the bondage guy, and and he goes through this nightclub where they have a Mohawk night, and they chase him through the thing. But there's so many quirky characters in here, from Terry Garr playing the waitress to Catherine O'Hara, who's a little nuts there.
She always plays great.
She always plays a dingbat, crazy. Yeah, that scene where he's trying to call, and she keeps on fucking reading the numbers off, so he flips it call. I mean,
Now I really fucking forgot. Take my phone call, please.
But this guy, all the shit he goes through, I just want to go out and meet a girl. I didn't want to have to die.
Yeah.
He meets the gay guy there in the street, and the gay guy thinks he's gonna, get over on him. He's talking about all his troubles.
Yeah.
John Hurd plays the bartender there, and he's kind of nuts. But I love how this movie is almost like one big bookend, because it starts off with him. It starts off with him at work, and it ends up with him at work, and everything in between.
I love like the second he makes it back, like after he's been like basically covered in like that one, even though it's not that same Kiki lady that does all the arts, all like the artistic stuff, finds this other lady who has like a whole room of these statues.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, when you're thinking to yourself, who the fuck is in those things?
Exactly. And she covers them in that, and she's like, that's what I thought. I was like, this is gonna get real dark, even darker. I would have liked to see where she's like, no, shut up, you got me in this now, and I now I have to make sure that they're actually gone. She tapes his mouth shut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dude, this.
But then fucking Cheech and Chong steals them.
And then my statue, man.
He falls out of the band.
What do you know about art, man? What do you know? He's like, this stuff is priceless, man.
And so when he meets Terry, he meets Rosanna Arquette, and she's out there. She's broke up from the bartender, and she ends up killing herself. And the bartender's
she's still married to some guy that lives in Turkey, living in his apartment with the other girl who's
the bartender,
with the BDSM shit. And then she has like a boyfriend who's the bartender, and then she's still she's trying to talk to Griffin Dunne. It's like she is like, and then she's talking about how she got, raped by some guy like in this very apartment or whatever.
And he's already freaked out because the whole sense of like dread in this movie is palpable.
The tube of shit, and then
he finds the burn book. The horrible burn book, so he's thinking this girl has some kind of horrible burns.
Yeah,
and it ends up later on.
Well, I thought he was thinking that she had like freaking crabs or something. That's
no, he thought she was burnt. That was a book of burns.
Oh no, I was talking about the ointment. Remember, he pulls out that ointment.
Yeah, that was right for burns.
I was thinking of like burn, like a burning sensation.
No, like burns, and they get the book, and it's all people who've been burnt, and they show it to you real quick in images. So he's thinking this girl. That's what he said to her. I take it you have some sort of burns.
Yeah.
And she goes, what? And then when he looks at her later on, she's like, perfect. There's nothing.
Perfect. Yeah, because they almost like they show like little like a bit on her leg, and it looks like she has some huge scratch or like maybe I'm guessing a burn, but it ends up being a tattoo.
Right.
But it looked like they were implying that it was a burn or something. So that kind of freaks them out too, because it's like kind of more, like up in her area.
He told the story about when they put him in the hospital next to a burn patient, and then she comes in after taking off her clothes and getting in the bathroom. She's got a candle. So he's thinking, what the fuck, is she going to burn me now? The whole thing had, you really felt the threat of this. Even though it was a dark comedy, you felt this guy's dilemma. This guy, and then he loses his money. And then he ends up going to the girl's apartment, and he finds that $20 bill stuck in the fucking,
in
the statue.
Yeah.
Then the guy's,
yeah, and the whole part of the movie ends up being that he's like, I just want to get home. Yeah. At first, when he tells Rosanna Arquette that she's like, oh, I hope you don't work till you don't have to be up early. Yeah. Like, no. So that's when I was surprised. Like when he landed in front of that building.
Yeah, he just lied. That was
his work.
Yeah, it was his work.
Because she's like, I just feel like talking to you all night.
He lied because he thought he was gonna get laid. So he lied.
Right. Hey, who had that?
You're in Soho in New York. The city never sleeps. It's always something going on.
Yeah, who does? But yeah, it just becomes about him being like, I just want to get home, and he's basically stuck in Soho.
He doesn't have the money for the train. The guy won't lend him the fucking 30 cents.
Yeah, 40 cents. The train prices just went up.
Yeah, just went up.
Like, what? Yeah.
Did you know that?
Did you know that? Yeah, I did know that. Well, I didn't know that. Yeah, dude.
There's so many circumstances. Then he goes in that thing, and the Terry Gurr, the waitress there, writes in that note, "Help! I need to get out of here."
Yeah.
You know, and she's got the fucking beehive like from the '60s, and she's off her rocker.
Yeah.
And then she ends up doing the picture that says he's the burglar.
Right, putting it all around the fucking neighborhood. And then there's the other crazy chick who he meets like at that. Remember, once he leaves Rosanna Arquette's apartment, then he goes to that random bar because it's raining out, and he just
Terry Gurr,
that other girl, and that girl's crazy as hell. And she's like, here, it looks like a donut or something. He's like, it's a cream cheese paperweight. He's like, get that shit out of my face. Oh,
there's so many good lines in this, and so many memorable lines. You know.
And what I did like too about this was that it was a very different cast, because obviously over the years we got like an era of Martin Scorsese movies where he was Robert De Niro. Now it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Then there was an era of just Leonardo DiCaprio stuff. And now he's kind of mashed the eras where now he's merging De Niro and Leonardo. Like in this latest movie, like the last couple movies, he's had both guys in them. I want to maybe at least like the last two. I'd have to look at his filmography, but I know that he has that upcoming movie, which I'm really excited for. That's going to have both Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
But maybe they haven't done anything together. Maybe I'm tripping. I thought that he was in at least one other thing with Leo and De Niro.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was really the movie that got him back, though, because it was a modest hit at the theater.
Because what was it, that one
King of Comedy didn't do that well.
I never seen King of Comedy. All I ever heard was that it was just like inspired by that Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie.
It inspired that movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right. But yeah, it's a good. I mean, it's a very it's a cult movie
that fell apart before this.
The Last Temptation of Christ.
Did he get to do that? Because I know he did that Silence movie.
Yeah, he did it later on. He did it
later on. Yeah. That's not Silence. That's
no. Okay. So, but after this movie, he hit the big time because his next movie was a huge hit. Was The Color of Money with Tom
Cruise. Was this a big hit?
Was that?
Was this a big hit?
This is a modest hit, but it was big enough. It was big enough that he got him the next movie, which is Color of Money with Tom Cruise. And once he did Color of Money, he was off.
I don't even think I've seen Color of Money.
And then after that was Goodfellas. So
wow, which now I'm super pumped that Mean Streets is getting a 4K because it's been a long time since I've seen that. I've only seen that maybe one time in my life. I'm usually like Goodfellas. I love Gangs of New York is one of my favorites. I see he did do Last Temptation of Christ in '88.
Yeah, what's interesting that the guy who was originally supposed to
comedy right before this.
Right before, yeah.
And Raging Bull wasn't like a huge success. Damn.
It was okay, but it wasn't huge.
Yeah.
But
is The Color of Money good?
Oh yeah, it's really good. That's a sequel to The Hustler with Paul Newman. It's about pool. It's a real good movie.
Oh, really? Do you have to watch The Hustler to understand it?
No. But what does it say? Yeah, Tim Burton was supposed to direct this originally. You can tell.
That's what I wanted to talk about too. And he passed on it. Like Tim Burton, basically, like what was it? Griffin Dunne is like a producer too, and he they wanted Tim Burton, which would have been great as well. I actually think. Though between these two, they're totally.
It probably would have been even weirder. I think
it would have been even weirder for sure, and maybe like less comedy. I feel like, but once they brought Martin Scorsese into it, he's like, nah. He's like, I'm not gonna stand in the way of Scorsese. And Tim Burton basically just gave it to him. And I told you this was my first time watching this, and yeah, dude, I had a fucking blast with this. I thought it was fantastic. And like I was saying, I love that he used like a different cast where it's always become very similar actors. He reuses a lot of the same people. And this was like a whole different cast that I've never seen him like use again.
Right.
You know,
But Griffin Dunne was great in this because he played desperate and
like very goofy and nerdy at first, and then like
right.
he has that that transition where he starts getting darker and like kind of weirder as the night goes, and all this keeps hitting him, and you get to know him more, and you're like, there is more to him than just being like a nerdy office guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he just his
character arc.
His job is just depressing and boring, and he has to try to look for some adventure. Well, he got that more adventure than he could handle. Somebody said that this movie really couldn't happen today, but I think I was watching Scorsese. He said it could. I mean, all that would have to happen is the phone gets stolen, it doesn't work, service is out. It doesn't take much to
power
lines are out. Yeah, exactly. Because even here, back in the day of phone booths, there was no phone booths in this area at all, and so he didn't know. It was very ominous out there when they shot the streets and he's walking through it. The way they did the lighting, they had the lighting kind of like shooting up from the bottom of them, so he like cast all these big shadows and stuff.
Yeah,
the lighting director was really good on this movie, and Scorsese, man, whoever shot this for him did a great job because the movie looked great.
Yeah,
considering most of it's in the dark, very little of this is in the bright lit area.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. Let me see. Michael Ballhaus was the director of photography, and he did Goodfellas, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola, Gangs of New York, The Age of Innocence, The Departed. So he's definitely done a lot. Air Force One, Wild Wild West, Primary Colors, Sleepers, which I love that. Outbreak. Yeah. I'm sure he's done more, but yeah, that Last Temptation of Christ as well. So it seems like he's definitely done a lot with Scorsese.
And this was a very diverse musical score. The score itself was done by Howard Shore, but there was a lot of classical music in this. Like the whole beginning's classical, the ending's classical. It's got a lot of '60s songs in it. Terry Garza, like the Monkees and all this older stuff. So it has an interesting mix of music, and I really love the classical stuff at the beginning. At the end when he goes in, he's covered in plaster. He sits down at his desk, and they do that shot with the dolly camera where it goes around the whole office, just avoiding him all the time, and that was a really cool ending to the movie, I thought.
Yeah, that was cool.
But I remember liking this film right from the get-go. I really
you told me you really loved it, man. So
it's in my top 5 of right up there. Of one of my favorite movies.
All time or Scorsese favorites?
All time.
All time. Wow. Yeah, because when I first put it out, I was like, man, he loves this so much. And at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. And the more I got into it, and the more you kind of get to know Griffin Dunne, I was like, oh man, yeah, I'm really starting to like this. Yeah. Because at first, it kind of starts off a bit slow, and you just think like, oh, this guy's like, and then it's like, I was just not, the whole cast threw me for a loop, like I said, because it's just, he's so used to.
Well, it could have been, it's a little bit dated in the fact that, New York's not kind of like that anymore.
That's the one thing I love though about it is I love like the old New York like that, man.
The 80s vibe to it.
Exactly. And this whole movie was shot basically 95% was shot at night, New York, and that's just that.
Well, and that helped him out because he wanted it to look totally abandoned.
Yeah,
and not a car in the fucking street.
Right.
When he goes out, and it did look that way. So
I love that.
Plus, he shot a lot of it when it was raining too, so that people were off the street. There was a lot of people on the street.
Yeah, and it seemed very quiet and just.
And he even had Dick fucking Miller in this movie. Any movie that brings in Dick Miller.
Yes, dude, I love that, dude.
And I don't know if you watched the deleted scenes, but both John Hurt and Dick Miller got more to do, but they cut it.
Really?
Yeah. But I all the things he cut, I'm glad he cut because it was stuff that would have slowed it down way too much. That's what I liked about this movie. This movie moved at a pretty good clip. It always was going somewhere. He was never sitting anywhere for very long.
Once he gets out of the office, it goes full blast, and it just keeps going and going and going to the next bullshit, to the next crazy ass shit, to the next one, or the next crazy situation to the next one. He just he sits down. He's like, oh wait, I forgot I had this note in my pocket. I gotta go to this crazy fucking headbanger, club, and then after that, he's like, oh shit, I gotta go back and get my keys. Fuck, he's still closed. Now I gotta go back to this crazy blonde-haired chick. Let me go check and see if the bar's back open. Oh, it's open now. Fine. Hold on, I gotta go back here and check something. Fuck, now the bar's closed again. What the fuck? And it's just it kept moving. And I really liked the pace of that. I thought it's just it was just intriguing and interesting the whole time. You're just, and he's dealing with he's going nuts, and is you almost feel just like him in the movie, because you're like, these fucking people are nuts. Like, what is going on? After hours, it's like the madness comes out.
Exactly.
I love the title of it just for that. It was man, I really fucking.
I love it. The scene after he finds her dead, he's calling the cops. And he posts up the picture.
Yeah,
the dead person with an arrow.
4 arrows.
Oh, there's dead person in here.
Oh my god, fucking crazy. He never even ends up getting to tell. I think her name is Kiki or something. He never gets to tell her that the girl's dead. Crazy, dude.
What does it say? And then of course I asked if you spotted the cameos. Scorsese's was in the club there, and then Scorsese's mom's in the restaurant in one of the scenes. She's also the voice on the answering machine when he's in the guy's apartment. The guy's mother calls him. That was Scorsese's mother doing that too. Scorsese always has his relatives in the movie somewhere. If you look close.
Yeah, I know his mother. I didn't peep his mother in this though, but I did see him. I have to go. I might rewatch him and I have to check, look out for her.
Yeah, just like if you spot Nicolas Cage, his last name is Coppola. He is the brother of Sofia Coppola, and Francis Ford Coppola is, I think, his uncle or something. So,
really?
And Scorsese knows them all, so that's why they always put people in their movies there like that.
Yeah. I had no idea Nicolas Cage was related to Coppola.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
every day.
But yeah, I've watched this maybe 20 times, and I love this movie. And every time you watch it,
how'd that 4K look?
And the 4K looked really nice. They really cleaned it up, especially because it's at night and it's dark and it's HDR really helps it.
They did a 4K and a Blu-ray, I think, which the Blu-ray will have the 4K transfer, but it's going to be a Blu-ray. Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully, one day the 4K will go down in price. But for now, this one though, I had to put it on English
because that's a French disc I had. I said there.
But it looked
fine. But
I just enjoyed watching it for my first time.
And if you watch it again, you'll catch more and more that you miss, because there's a lot of stuff happening in the movie, and you have to listen to the dialogue where there's a lot of stuff dropped in the dialogue.
That's why I wanted to really put my time into this when I watched it, because I turned the lights off and just turned it up, and just because Scorsese movies you gotta take serious too. You know what I mean? It's he throws so much at you. So yeah,
my favorite scene in the movie. I don't know if you have a favorite scene, but my favorite scene in the movie is after he's being chased through the neighborhood by Catherine O'Hara, and he climbs up the building, and he's sitting in the fire escape, and he's looking all around. He's looking over, and there's these couples fucking in the window. He looks over again. It reminded me of Rear Window, and the guy's arguing with his wife, and his wife pulls out a gun and shoots the fucking husband dead. And Griffin Dunn, he goes back and he goes, probably gonna get blamed for that.
Dude, I feel like I missed that.
Yeah, he really missed it.
Oh my god,
that's why you had and they got the music playing in the back. I'm probably gonna get blamed for that.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and you rewatch it, you'll see a lot of stuff that you missed.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I definitely will have to rewatch this one.
But it's on my, even top 5 movies. But yeah, if somebody's gonna ask me what are my top Scorsese movies. This is in it. This is one of
Did
my top movies.
did it come with the slip like a regular Criterion release, or is it just the case? Right, like those like kind of slip-in cases.
I think it has a slipping case. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna wait. I'm hoping they'll do like they do Criterion.
They do a half price there, yeah. Because otherwise they're like $50.
I want
Crazy.
to get that in the mean streets at some point.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a favorite favorite scene or favorite
Well, I think I mentioned it. I probably would say, what was it? Oh well, I know I could probably think of a better one, but I did love this one. Who is it? John Hurt finds out that Rosanna Arquette has killed herself, and he finds out that Griffin Dunne finds out that he was
right.
The bartender was messing with her, and he was the one on the phone.
Right.
And he's like, and he's like, I'm so sorry, man. And they're like gay couple right next to him. I think that's who. Yeah. Like, what are you sorry for? You didn't know. You didn't kill her. And he's like,
well, I was dead.
I gotta. I'll be right back. Don't do it. Don't do anything stupid now. There are some really good scenes.
Yeah, I mean, everything links to everything in that movie. The person he has contact with interacts with everybody down the line.
Yeah.
It's all very coincidental, but that's what makes the movies interesting.
A small town too, But then maybe my second favorite scene would just be like when he gets like all wrapped up in the clay suit or whatever, and then Cheech and Chong just come, because you think like, oh shit, bro, this dude's about to be like, like turned into
he's gonna be down there forever.
Yeah, exactly. He's never going home. That's what I didn't know. I was like, he's never getting home.
It'd be like the end of fucking Black Christmas.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, they come in, and I thought that they were real, like, because this movie is a very dark comedy, and I thought they were a very lightness to it. They kind of, you know what I mean? Right. Like very light comedic charm. Yeah, I was so surprised. I was like, holy shit. Scorsese got Cheech and Tommy Chong in his movie.
Yeah, like, that was at the height of their popularity.
Of their career. I was going to say they were huge at that point.
And they were the perfect comedic touch to have in this movie. Yeah.
So we still got to do Cheech and Chong too.
We got to do, of course, the best one there, the Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke, yeah.
They're all pretty good.
Yeah. I thought they were all goofy, so we'll definitely do Up in Smoke at some point.
Up in Smoke is definitely a one worth doing. I know I have it, so.
Oh yeah.
But but there's still this is the definition. This is definitely a cult movie. It's still not very widely known, but
hey, got a 4K from Criterion, but Scorsese
and Scorsese, right? And
Scorsese's gonna get a Criterion.
But if you guys out there haven't seen it, it's well worth hunting down and watching it, because
like we said, Criterion just put out a 4K and a Blu-ray, so
and ever since this movie came out, I know I watched a lot of stuff. I keep an eye out for Griffin Dunne because I just like him. And of course, he was good in American Werewolf in London there, right?
He's the best friend, right?
He's the best friend, yeah.
Mauled. I didn't even know to think of that until you just said that. I was like, and fuck, that is Griffin.
And then he had, I know he was in Who's That Girl with Madonna. And there's a bunch of other movies. And he's been on a ton of TV shows and stuff, so. Yeah.
He's a producer.
He was more of a producer than he was an actor.
That's what I was gonna say.
And he produced a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
For that Geffen company, like Risky Business and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
But definitely one to watch if you haven't watched it. Definitely a lost 80s gem, I think.
Yeah.
One of Scorsese's more interesting movies.
Without a doubt. So, what's your rating on it?
I love this movie. I'm giving it a 5 because I just love the script. It's very smart. It's funny. It's weird. It's kind of like a nightmare too in parts.
It's a very unique Scorsese film.
Very unique Scorsese movie.
No, he's never done like King of Comedy. That's not a dark comedy, is it?
Yeah, it is kind of.
But not like this.
Yeah. But he doesn't do big comedy. He does comedies in his movies. Comedy, obviously, in his movies.
Comedic here and there.
This is more in his era where he did more, attempted to do some interesting things.
Yeah.
Now if we see Scorsese, if he's not gangsters were disappointed, but
Yeah.
there was a time when he didn't just do that. So,
Right.
but definitely a 5 for me. I love this movie.
Hell yeah.
One of my favorites.
I think this isn't my favorite Scorsese movie, but I did really, really enjoy it, and I think that it could have room to grow. I almost want to give it a 5, but I have other Scorsese movies I'd put above it, so I don't think I can give it a 5. I'd go 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Very fucking awesome movie. I cannot wait to rewatch it and pick up some of those little subtle things that you just mentioned. I had a blast on my first time.
And we'll have to do King of Comedy too, and we'll do Mean Streets.
Yeah, we'll have to do King of Comedy too, and Mean Streets when that Criterion comes out. That'll be perfect when the Criterion comes out. There's a bunch of people will be wanting to review that, and it's been a long time since I've seen that. Like I said, I've never seen King of Comedy. I keep meaning to watch it because, especially when Joker came out, I wanted to watch it to like prep for it, but I just never got to it. So. Yeah, that'll be fun. I love Scorsese, man. And I'd love to do Gangs of New York because it's been a while since I've seen that. Gangs of New York is one of
that's a good movie too. Yeah,
that is such a good one.
Yeah.
So,
cool, man. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, I didn't know if you would. I didn't know if you would enjoy that.
Dude, the first 20 minutes I wasn't sure, but I really got into it after, and because it was just like I was like, whoa, this is different. This is not like my normal Scorsese movies I'm thinking of. So when I sat back and I was like, dude, you know what I mean? It's like, you know me, bro. I'm gonna give everything the worthwhile shot, and I fucking was like, wow, dude, this really came together, and like you said, everything kind of connects in some way, and I really ended up enjoying it. I think it could end up going to a 4.75. After on second watch, this is definitely one I'm going to be watching throughout the years.
I love in the scope of this guy's life, everything came full circle. He's back where he was by the end of the movie.
Right.
So that's what I found very interesting too. It's like a slice, and they did it really well. What's that?
Hot, man. It's hot.
That's right. It's hot. So I'm glad you liked it.
I really did enjoy it. I thought that was a really good dark comedy.
So now fucking Horror Fest is here, huh? I guess.
Yep, I guess it will
should be interesting. This should be an interesting Horror Fest. I think it's kicking off with a great movie I've never seen. Maniac.
You've never seen Maniac? Holy
never seen it.
Shit.
So
yeah,
I can't
at some
wait
point we'll have to do the Elijah Wood one too.
I understand Kayla Monroe's in this, right? Kayla Monroe, is she in this? Maniac? Isn't she the girl that gets the fucking skinned?
I think I'd have to see.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So I'm looking. I got the 4K. I can't wait to see that.
So that should
awesome.
Be 4K.
So looking forward to doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no way I wanted to start with. I wanted to start with a fucking bang, bro, and nothing is better than Maniac. Maniac is. I think you're gonna fucking love this movie, dude.
I watched last night. I watched Blade in the Dark, which was, an okay giallo film.
Is it? Yeah, because I wanted to get that Vinegar Syndrome released, but
I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite, but it had some interesting things in it.
Yeah, I know. It's got some cool kills in it, but
yeah. Not as many as you would think, but it does pretty well. And then fucking more Bond coming.
More Bond, baby. Monday.
Russia with Love. Number 2, Sean Connery. A fucking banger, if I say so.
With Quint from Jaws in it, man. I cannot wait. I can't wait to keep going.
Wait till you see that fucking dude. He's built like a.
Joining us.
Yeah, Perry's supposed to be joining us next week, so it should be another fun ride with James Bond. We're gonna do them all. It'll take us forever, but we shall do them. Did I knock you out again?
Yep.
Hitting that button, baby.
Well,
thank everybody for coming in and enjoying it. If you like us to do more movies, put it in the comments. If you want to see us do something, the weirder the better, man. We're always looking for movies.
Some options, maybe, and we'll see what we got. And as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that bell.
I know we got some Jim Carrey coming up because
we'll be having a lot.
We want to do some Jim Carrey, so.
Yeah, we should be doing. I wanted to do Me, Myself, and Irene, so that should be fun as fuck. I love that movie, and I'll be picking another movie, and then I'll probably like Me, Myself, and Irene, and I'll pick another movie, and Scarpel will probably pick 2, and we'll be having a lot coming. So like I said, hit that bell notification so you get all updates when we go drop a movie or go live.
That's right. Remember that. Always. We'll see you this week for Horse Fest and next week for James Bond, man.
Peace out, y'all.
Later, buds.
Later.
Stay cool.